What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. How's everybody doing? I hope you are doing very, very well. We're going to talk about Prot Warrior today. We are going to dive back into Prot Warrior. I think I've covered this a little bit sort of like a month ago or more when it kind of first came out. But we're going to cover Prot Warrior with some dungeon footage later. I'm going to go over some of the talents right now in the first part, and then we'll have the gameplay a little bit later. But I do want to just mention all the changes that have come through. I tried to get this video up yesterday, but then Blizzard had a huge patch, like a 1 gigabyte patch for the beta, and servers were just down, so I couldn't do anything. So we're back at it now, though, and I do want to dive in and talk about some important things for Prot Warrior. So buckle up, let's do it. With this new build, a lot of talents actually got moved around. They got shifted around into different places. Like War Machine is now right here in the middle, and there's nothing above it anymore. You just start with War Machine, and you can kind of go down from there, which is not really consequential in any way. But it's just interesting that that's there now. There are a lot of choices here in terms of where you want to go for Prot Warrior, and the connections are quite good. So if we're just looking strictly at the talents, it's important to understand, guys, that the way you navigate around the tree is always so important. And how easy is it to navigate around? It's like, well, here you can go Furious Blows, and you can either get some CC with Stormbolt, you can get more max rage, or you can get some damage and cooldown reduction on it. Like, multiple paths to get down to Sidearm. If you want to take Sidearm, you can take it. If you don't care to take Sidearm, you can just go down the Thunderclap route and go down here. You know, you can go from Heroic Leap down to one of the new abilities, which is Wrenching Impact, which is the Warrior's Mass Grip. Essentially, it's not as good as Mass Grip, I wouldn't say, but it's there. But you can see over here as well, Frothing Berserker leads you into some Wrecking Throw, Shattering Throw. You got Crushing Force, Pain and Gain. You can pick whichever path you want to do, whichever talents you want to take to kind of get down further, which is really good. That's great. It means you're not forced into one thing or another. You've got some choices there, which is really good. At the very bottom, these 4 capstone talents are all incredibly powerful, and will be sort of build enabling, or will help you generate ridiculous amounts of rage, which, let me tell you right now, Prot Warrior is going to have absolutely zero problem generating rage and turning that rage into defenses with Ignore Pain and Shield Block. So, yeah. There are so many cooldowns that Prot Warrior has. Some important notes on the spec side. They moved Booming Voice down to the bottom cluster here, which is fine. Booming Voice is very powerful, and it's actually fine that it's moved all the way down here. Spell Block got moved as well up to here on the right-hand side, sharing a node with Tough as Nails. So you can either block physical damage. You can either basically do damage with your blocking, or you can choose to block spells for 20 seconds. That used to be in the bottom middle. It's over on the right-hand side. A little more accessible now, for sure. Spell block's a little bit more accessible, which is really great. I think that's a pretty big deal. Otherwise, this spec side is basically the same, again, with choices everywhere. I can choose to get Enduring Defense or bigger executes, or I can go for Shield Wall, Shield Slam choices here, or I can get Anger Management in the middle, or both. Over here, I've got Revenge Damage and Thunderlord and Disrupting Shout. Like, there's just so many options. Bolster to buff my Last Stand, or Bloodborne to buff my bleed damage. So many options depending on whichever scenario you're in. You could just click into whichever build you need, and boom, there you go. You can do that build. I just love the way the Prot Warrior trees are set up. The class one's good, and then the spec one's also just really good for getting you whichever tools you need. I will say as well, this bottom middle cluster feels a little bit mandatory for like every build. Like, look at what you're getting here. This is absolutely disgusting. You're going to get Anger Management. Then you're going to get Shield Specialization, which gives you 12% block chance and 30% block value, which is insane. Then you're going to have Indomitable, your main way of healing. Booming Voice gives you 40 rage for Demo Shout and increases the damage you deal by 20%. That's a massive talent. And then your tier set bonus from Shadowlands, which is Violent Outburst. So it just feels like this midsection is insane. And then for rating, you're probably going to want Battle Scarred Veteran. which is really, really good. One thing I just want to touch on really quick, one of the biggest problems for Prot Warrior coming into Dragonflight that needed to be solved was how is their sustain looking? How is it? Because every other tank in the game has better sustain than Prot Warrior does, like straight up healing. The other tanks are just better than Prot Warrior. So the Prot Warrior problem is like your upfront block and armor and all that jazz is really, really strong at the beginning of the encounter, and as the encounter goes on and on and on and on and on, and your tools get whittled down, you aren't able to recover health the same way that the other tanks are. So what they've done is a couple of small things just to start out. There is, in fact, Fueled by Violence or Brutal Vitality are back. Those are both conduits from Shadowlands. I haven't actually really tried Fueled by Violence yet. I think it would be a better talent if it also procced off of Rend as well. So you could do the, Blood and Thunder, Rend, Thunderclap build and get the extra healing from Fueled by Violence. So I don't think it's really that good, but I really do have to still test it. Brutal Vitality is fine. It's perfectly fine. 30% of the damage you deal adds to Ignore Pain. Very good. Now, over on the class side, of course, we are getting Impending Victory. This is the biggest change, I think, by far. So healing for 30% of your maximum health every 25 seconds. Massive, massive improvement for Prot Warrior. It used to be that you had to fight between Indomitable and Impending Victory on the Shadowlands talent tree. So now you don't have to do that anymore. So, of course, we have Indomitable. This is the cornerstone, the foundation of our heals that we're getting. You're getting extra max health, and then you heal for 1% of your maximum health per 10 rage you spend. This will be your highest heal over time. It's very consistent. It's very, very good. Then we're getting some other little bonuses here. So there's Pain and Gain. This is a conduit that was in Shadowlands as well. It was called something different. I just can't remember what it was called. When you take any damage, heal for 4.5% of your maximum health. Once again, that's fine. Every 10 seconds. That's a good little heal right there. There's new abilities. Bitter Immunity, which is a nerfed version of what it was originally. This used to also get rid of bleeds. It doesn't get rid of bleeds anymore, but it still does heal you for 20% of your maximum health and removes all disease, poisons, and curses. Very, very powerful. Okay. Then on the other side, we've got Battle-Scarred Veteran. So this is probably going to be a mainstay of raiding Prot Warriors. Any Prot Warrior that's going to be raiding, this is what you're going to take for sure. This is your own cheat death. We haven't had a cheat death yet in forever that I can remember for Prot Warrior. So now you have a cheat death, which is incredibly strong. Very, very good. Love that. So that's all the healing that kind of exists for Prot Warrior that's here. Some of the bonuses that you're getting now. Battle-Scarred Veteran, Bitter Immunity if you want. You're getting Impending Victory. You're getting Pain and Gain. So very, very good on top of your regular Ignore Pains that you're going to be pressing with Indomitable. So actually the sustain, I think, of Prot Warrior has gone up significantly. I still think they might have some of the least healing, or they might be like tied for the least now. They might be like getting closer to some of the other tanks that have a little bit more sustain than them, like Brewmaster Monk, for example, because Brewmaster Monk is losing their tier set bonus, which gave them a lot of healing, but they still have some more innate sustain than Prot Warrior did, but they might be a little bit closer now on the totem pole. So still no Blood Death Knight, of course, but it's really great. When you're getting extra healing for a Prot Warrior, it's a massive deal because you already have so much upfront durability with, defensive stance giving you 20% DR. Look at this. It's crazy. 20% DR already. And I have shield block, giving me a massive amount of... I'm just blocking all damage, right? Could be critically blocking. So when you give healing to a spec like this, it really is a massive deal. It'd be like giving Blood DK the ability to block. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how significant it would be. New stuff on the class side, the Heroic Mass Grip. Like I said before, it's not as good as Mass Grip, but it does work. I've tested it in dungeons. It works fine. You really do notice, though, that you're missing the 15 seconds off the Heroic Leap, which is very sad. So, yeah, that's a tough one. I really did miss the 15-second cooldown reduction on Heroic Leap when I took this. But if you need it for your team, then you can take it there, which is really, really cool. Shield Charge is very, very cool for this Champion's Bulwark as well, getting giving you the shield block, revenge, and generating 30 rage, that effect. That was the reprisal effect, legendary effect from Shadowlands. So that's in the game, and it's tied to this 45-second cooldown. It feels really good to press this button now. It really does, guys. It feels very, very strong. It does way too much damage. Prot Warrior is still doing way too much damage, but this giving you free shield block is very good. Now, right now, it is consuming a charge of shield block, not granting you shield block. This should just grant you shield block, not have to consume it. So let's see if they fixed it with the update. I actually have no idea. Yeah, so it's still consuming a charge of shield block. I've sent in a bug report about this, but this should not take away one of your shield block charges. It should grant you shield block. It's an independent proc. So they have yet to fix that, and I'm hoping that they get on that and they'll fix it soon. But because otherwise that's a kind of a frustrating thing going on there. So, but otherwise it's good. The cooldown's really, really good. One last thing I'll say is that Shockwave is disgusting. You can make Shockwave do 350% more damage and always crit. And then you can also get the cooldown reduction. Like, what? Watch the damage here. What the? It just did 43,000 damage on 4 targets. And the cooldown's coming back. It's only 15 seconds away. What are we even talking about? So Prot Warrior is still doing way too much damage. And that's going to get tuned. We're in the tuning phase for Blizzard. But I just wanted to go over some of those talents there. And one thing I would say, Prot Warrior is filled with extra buttons now. There are so many buttons, guys, that you can choose to take, and you can choose to just not take them if you don't want to, or take some of them. And let me show you. I'm going to charge in. I've got Avatar. Okay, there we go. Avatar into a bunch of thunderclaps, okay? Boom. I got my Ren Bleed going. Great, great, great. We're very happy about that, okay? Lots of revenge stuff. I have Shield Charge. Let's do my Shield Charge combo. And boom. There, I hit it. Okay. So I've done that. I have Thunderous Roar. Let's do that. Okay, I have Thunderous Roar. Notice my rage has like never ever gone down, by the way. There, it's finally going down now. Oh, look, I have Ravager. Let's press that. Okay, now I'm getting rage from Ravager. Oh, Shockwave's back. Okay, let's press that. There's a cool... Oh, Demo Shout's back. Let's press that. Okay, keep it going. Oh, Avatar's back. I guess we'll press that. There we go. Okay, we got Avatar going. I do have the Thunderlord talent going, so big, when I'm in Avatar, it's a big deal. Okay, here we go. Finally, ran out of rage there, finally. But we're getting it back really quickly, don't worry. Oh, look, Demo Shout's back. We're going to press that, and Shield Charge is back. Oh, and Shockwave's back. Do you guys see what I'm doing here? Do you see what's going on? Like, there's just so many buttons. It's absolutely mental. And I'm doing 27,000 damage right now. 27k DPS. It's too much. I'm only on 4 targets, and I'm doing 27k. So, Prot Warrior is actually in a very similar state now. Avatar's back, by the way. To Prot Paladin, which also receives some really, really cool buttons, like Liadrins and the old Legion artifact ability that's coming back. And so, they're actually in a very similar boat now, where you have like 5 to 6 to 7 buttons that you can just juggle through now. I've got Avatar with Demo Shout at 1, 2. You got Shield Charge 3, and then I have 4 with Thunderous Roar, 5 with Ravager. Okay, those are kind of like the big major buttons. 6 with Shockwave, doing damage and stunning all enemies, having its cooldown reduced. I haven't even got to my actual defensive buttons, which would be things like Shield Wall and the regular active mitigation of Shield Block and Ignore Pain, okay, which are also there. And then there's Last Stand is another cooldown. Like, there's so many cooldowns. There's like 7 big cooldowns you can use on top of your regular active mitigation, and it's really, really insane. So, I think that Prot Warrior is obviously in a good place. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not... Oh, sorry, guys. It's in a really, really good place. It has all these buttons now. I do think it plays very similarly to Prot Paladin, where, again, you're running in, you're putting your AoE stuff down, and you're grabbing as many enemies as you can and just pressing all your big AoE buttons, because you literally have 6 AoE buttons now that you can press that are all significant. There's no damage meter for the footage you're giving me, because I was doing this yesterday when all the damage meters were disabled. So... Just keep that in mind. But this was a dungeon that I ran through, and I tried to pull a bunch of mobs together at multiple points. Here's a big pull right here. Again, look at the sustain, guys. We want to hear about the sustain. How am I doing keeping myself alive? Of course, I do have a healer with me, but am I blocking most of this damage? I mean, the answer is yes. You can see all the parries and blocks going on my character portrait there, and all the actual additional healing that I get. There's just, I think that Prot Warrior is just going to be probably like invincible. As long as you're juggling each of those different cooldowns appropriately, then I think you're going to be fine. Like, you're going to be able to generate ridiculous amounts of rage. You're doing lots of damage, which we'll get to in a bit. But more importantly, guys, you are able to sustain yourself now. And there were a couple times in this dungeon where I needed to use Impending Victory to keep, not like I was going to on the brink of death, but like it was good to just keep myself rolling, to keep the cooldowns going, to give myself that longevity that I was looking for. So here, you know, in these heroic dungeons, I'm not even using like half my buttons, and you'll see that. I'm just cycling through Shield Slam for the most part. It's like Shield Slam, Thunderclap. That's what's happening. And it's just not that big of a deal. It's not that hard to sustain as a Prot Warrior anymore. So I just think it's going to be good. I think Prot Warrior is looking really, really good. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think about this whole new package with Prot Warrior? What do you think about all the new buttons that we can take? Again, you don't have to take all these buttons, guys. I just want to always showcase what is possible. What do you think about having things like Ravager and Thunderous Roar and Shield Charge and the new Shockwave? You know, do you think it's good to have all those buttons? What do you think about that? What do you think about the sustain for Prot Warriors? How do you guys feel about Prot Warrior sustain going into Dragonflight? I would love to hear your comments down below. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one.